This is an old video from David Horowitz, the neoconservative right-wing extremist who runs an organization called the Horowitz Freedom Foundation. Now, this is one of his only interesting videos because it's one of the few where he's not the one saying something despicable. It's his challenger here, but I think it's important when videos like this start going all over the right-wing media and ending up on Glenn Beck and floating around on the internet, that people do some fact-checking. For example, David Horowitz asks this Muslim woman, oh, hey, there's this quote from Hezbollah, and the Hezbollah leader says the Jews should all gather in one place so that Hezbollah could murder them. And he asks if the Muslim woman agrees with the quote. Now, it turns out that the quote in question, for anyone who bothered checking, which apparently doesn't include Mr. Horowitz, anyone who bothered checking on the veracity of the quote would have learned that it's not a real quote. This is a quote that keeps coming up every couple of years. Somebody in an op-ed will write, oh, did you hear what the guy from Hezbollah said? He said all the Jews should go to one place so we could kill them. And every time it comes up, people fact-check it and try to see if they can find the citation and find the original source. It turns out that there isn't much of an original source. It turns out that it was originally attributed to an article in an English-language Beirut newspaper in 2002. But the author that supposedly wrote the article from the newspaper hadn't even worked there for 3 years, and it turned out that the editor of the newspaper said he has no idea where the quote is from. So it's a made-up quote. And this one and another quote about murdering Jewish people, again attributed to someone from Hezbollah. There's another quote. It turns out to be it's not from a member of Hezbollah. It's from another man. It's from a member of Lebanese parliament. So it's easy to fabricate quotes and have them spread on the internet. So the truth of the matter is, the only people that are saying this horrific thing were it turns out, this Muslim woman, and that was only after she was put on the spot by David Horowitz. Hezbollah as an organization has never suggested that the Jews go to one place so that they could be killed. And it's true that Hezbollah spokespeople have said some pretty provocative things, but anyone can read Hezbollah speeches, which have been widely translated into English, and they're available in print. The spokespeople for Hezbollah, they say provocative things, but they don't say things like that. The other problem with this video is that David Horowitz never answered the original question that he was asked. He was asked, how is this Muslim students organization, which has chapters on various college campuses, how is it linked to some kind of global jihadist network? There's no evidence that it is. It's nothing more than a conspiracy theory. It's like somebody claiming that a Jewish students organization is somehow linked to some secret Jewish plot. It's the same old racism that we've seen against Jews, and it's being recycled in this case against Muslims. Sure, in this case, the Muslim member of one chapter of that group had a pretty horrific view when she was put on the spot, but that isn't proof that the Muslim Students Association or any other Muslim groups on student campuses have any link to terrorist groups. And as much as they've been spied on and infiltrated by the FBI, there's very, very little evidence to suggest any kind of wrongdoing. The other thing that needs to be noted is that as much as David Horowitz likes insulting critics of Israel and saying, oh, it's not Israel Apartheid Week, it's Hitler Youth Week, to compare critics of Israel to Nazis, the fact is Israel Apartheid Week is against racism. The fact that this Muslim student, clearly nervous from confronting Mr. Horowitz, either became anxious or grieved and made a very despicable statement, that doesn't change what Israel Apartheid Week is. Israel Apartheid Week is an international campaign designed to bring attention to the fact that legal scholars, including legal scholars from South Africa, believe Israel is enforcing an apartheid regime. That legally speaking, Israel's treatment of the Palestinians in the West Bank legally fits the legal definition of apartheid. And you don't need to ask some random Muslim woman, you don't need to ask David Horowitz, you can ask legal scholars from South Africa, which lived through apartheid. You can ask their foreign ministry, which commissioned a legal study into Israel's treatment and found that Israel is, in fact, discriminating systematically against the Palestinians, that it is enforcing a, quote, apartheid regime. And this is backed up by statements from most South African leaders, including Nelson Mandela, including Archbishop Desmond Tutu, including other prominent people. There's no denying that Jew hatred still exists. You won't find it at Israel Apartheid Week, and you won't find it from Hezbollah. Instead, you'll find it from random individuals, such as this individual student who is speaking for herself. Now, if you want to find, on the other hand, not just random people saying racist stuff when they're put on the spot and asked to answer yes or no, do you support genocide, and put on the spot like that, if you want to find actual racism, systematic racism, that's not just in somebody's words, but actually being enforced by the government, look no further than the apartheid state of Israel. Look no further than the legal studies that have concluded, legally speaking, that Israel is, in fact, enforcing an apartheid regime. There's no denying it. You can try to support that apartheid regime, or you can oppose it like most people would, but there isn't any more denial that it is happening because it's a legally researched fact by the South African Foreign Ministry, and it's also confirmed by international monitors as well. And you can check all of the links I've provided to see that everything I've pointed out in this video is true. Thank you.